Well, I think we're all ready to go. It's noontime here in Salt Lake City. My name is John. This is Power Hour. This is a 60-minute power yoga practice. And our focus today is going to be on balancing. I've got a kind of a different kind of flow that we'll do that will focus on some balance. So let's go ahead and start a mountain pose. And just make your way up to the top of your mat. You might stand with your feet about hip distance apart, your toes pointing forward. Maybe with your arms down by your side. Your palms could either face your body or even just turn forward. If you turn them forward, your shoulders will naturally roll back. So you have nice posturing, nice open heart and chest. Feel free to close your eyes or just soften your eyes as you gaze forward or downward. Let's just establish this connection. Arriving here, taking some deep breaths in and out. And since our practice is going to focus on balance, just take a moment to notice your 2 feet as you root into the ground, and even feeling a sense of being balanced on 2 feet. Just slow, steady breaths. Again, just tuning into your body, how you're feeling at this moment. And if you'd like, just bringing a little bit more energy to your breath, you might inhale to feel your breath rising to fill up your lungs. Nice expansiveness up top, then exhaling to draw navel inward toward your spine. Just that light contraction of your abdominal muscles. Feeling strong, secure, and even balanced in this state. Again, you might breathe in, just feel the breath rising, filling up your lungs. Good. As you exhale, that light contraction of abdominal muscles. This is the abdominal lock. Let's just go ahead and take 3 more breaths like this. When you're ready to move, we'll inhale, extend your arms into the air, a nice stretch through the entire body. Exhale, let's fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees if you need to, and you might touch your toes, but you don't have to touch your toes this first time. Inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or your thighs to extend your spine really long. Exhale, let's fold. We're going to hold this forward fold for a few breaths, just so you can start to feel a release or a stretch feeling down through the backs of your legs. Even a release down through your back, your shoulders, and even your neck. So a few things you can do while you're here. You might hold on to opposite elbows, just to bring a heaviness to the body. You might even sway a little bit left and right. That will release the low back and hips a bit. If you release the elbows, that frees up the arms and shoulders, so you can roll your shoulders, make circles if you'd like. And then maybe a gentle shake of your head. You can nod yes, shake your head no. And whenever you're ready, just start to shift your weight back into your heels. Bend your knees like you're about to sit down. Look forward. Extend your arms out to the side, and we'll stand up tall as you inhale. Come all the way up nice and tall. Reach high. And exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Let's just pause for a moment, take a breath in and out. Let's do that same sequence. We're just going to make it flow. Same thing. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air, extended mountain pose. Exhale, let's fold forward, soften your knees, maybe touching the ground. Inhale, rise up halfway, allowing your hands to come up to your knees. Long, flat back like a table, back down to your forward fold. Just a brief pause while you shift your weight back into your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, arms out to the side as you stand up tall. Once again, there it is, reaching high. Exhale, hands back down to your heart. So that's our half salute to the sun. Let's just come to stillness for a moment, return to the awareness of your breath. Let's go through Series A. We're just continuing to add warmth and energy and movement to the body. Inhale, sweep the arms into the air, reach high, another big stretch. Exhale, leading with your heart, fold forward, soft knees. Inhale, rising up halfway, that's our monkey pose or half forward fold. Exhale, bend your knees enough to place your hands on your mat so you can step or walk or even hop back into plank pose. Let's hold here for a moment. Really feel your hands press into the ground as if you're trying to push yourself away from the ground. A slight lift in the hips, not too high, so you can keep that core connection so your navel's pulling up towards spine. Let's take a shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air. And there's our downward facing dog, our inverted V shape. Make any adjustments with your feet, maybe your hands on your mat, and then just settle in. You can just hold this posture, but feel free to add some motion here, pressing one heel down, then the other. Feel the lengthening and stretch through your calves, especially if they're a little tight today. Bend the knees, move your hips. And again, your hands are pressing strongly into the ground. Strong, straight arms. Just keep pedaling a few more times. Then pause in your down dog. Take a full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale, rise up halfway, crown forward. Exhale, fold again. Soft knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, coming all the way up, reaching high. Exhale, hands to your heart. We're going to keep this in motion, going right into Series B. Inhale, reach right up into the sky. Exhale, chair pose this time, sitting back. Hold for a moment. We're just going to take a breath in. Exhale, dive out of your seat toward your toes, forward fold. Inhale, rising halfway. Then your exhale to bend the knees, hands to your mat, walk, step, or hop back into plank pose. Once you're in plank, just breathe in. And the exhale, let's finish the push-up this time. Coming down, yes, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to a low cobra or upward facing dog, so choose your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment just to settle in, make some adjustments with hands and feet. And we'll add on. Let's inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reach back. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat, next to right hand. Left heel turns to the ground. Be sure to shift your weight back. This establishes balance here too. Rise to warrior one. Inhale, reaching up into the sky. We're going to exhale and fold. Come right back down. Plant your hands. Let's step back into plank pose. You can take a shortcut to down dog or go through your full sequence as you'd like. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing. When you're ready, take a breath in to extend your left leg up into the air. And your exhale to step through. Left foot to the top, right heel turns to the ground behind you. Light hands float into the air, warrior one. Inhale to rise. And your exhale to fold. Hands back down. Step back, plank, finishing your sequence as you'd like. We'll meet together in downward facing dog. We'll pause there. Let's go to the ground. Let's bring the knees to the ground. Sit back and sit down. So we're going to lie on our backs, moving into bridge pose. So maybe sitting in the center of your mat. So you can roll down onto your back. You're going to keep the knees bent and just place your feet on the ground. Before we move, just let your body relax here for a moment. Just settle into the ground. Maybe a couple breaths. When you're ready, take a nice full breath in. Exhale, empty and hollow the belly. Then lift your hips away from the ground, lifting straight up. You can stay just like this, but you can add some motion to the upper body. If you rock your upper body left and right a little bit several times, you can get your arms and shoulders a little bit underneath you. As you're able, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Even interlace your fingers underneath you if you'd like. And this just kind of opens the chest a little bit more. It might even allow you to lift your hips a little higher. So a nice opening through the whole front side of your body. Nice expansive breath into the chest and the upper chest region. Feel all this muscle engagement too, your glutes, your hamstrings, your thighs. 2 more breaths in your bridge pose. If your fingers are folded, you can release your fingers, wiggle your toes forward a little bit, extend both arms up into the air. That should release your shoulders out from underneath you, then roll down to the ground. Go ahead and bring both knees to chest. Prepare to rock up to seated. With a good strong exhale, you can rock your way up to come to your seated position so we can come to boat pose. So you might do this with the feet lifted. You might want to energize the feet by flexing the feet or pointing your toes, either one. You might hold on to the legs initially so you can literally lift yourself up to help extend the spine. Even tip your chin up a little bit because you're at an angle. You want to make sure that your neck and head are also at the same angle there. And then breathe in, feel the expansiveness in the chest, breath rising, exhaling, empty the belly, feel the contraction of the muscles. And if you like, you might even release the legs, having your hands free. We're going to move on this next breath. We're going to inhale, feel like you're floating off the ground. Exhale, cross legs. If you can, roll forward, hands in front on your mat, hop or step back plank pose. Hold here for a moment. Let's take that same shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air. Let's go ahead and inhale, extend right leg up. Let's bend the knee. And if you bend the knee, the heel comes down towards your backside. Lift the knee up towards the ceiling a little bit. Opens the hips. As you exhale, go ahead and unwind it and we'll step through. Back to a warrior 1. Left heel plants, light hands, inhale, rising up. And your exhale to warrior 2. Let's settle in and hold here for a moment. Feel free to widen the stance by taking the feet a little farther apart from each other. Deeper lunge. Nice action in the arms. Hold for a moment. Just checking in, be sure your right knee and your toes are pointing forward. Let's take our side angle. So reach forward, follow the hand, angle the upper body, then rotate your arms. Your right arm will brace on the inner leg perhaps, while the left hand reaches into the air. Nice extension. If you want a little bit more of a stretch through the left side body, extend the left hand and reach over your head so you feel this all down through your left side. Let's take a breath in. We're going to exhale to turn towards the ground, carefully fold, bring your hands to the mat. Let's step back into plank, hold plank. Remember that engagement of pushing hands into the ground. Feel like you're pushing yourself away from the ground. Engage your belly. Now take that same shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees and send your hips into the air. Nice smooth transition. Let's inhale to extend left leg up. We're going to bend the knee so the heel comes down towards backside. And a simple lift of the knee up towards the ceiling. Doesn't have to lift high, but it opens the hips here. As we exhale, we'll unwind it. We'll step left foot through up to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground. Feeling that lightness in the front body so you can rise up with ease, warrior 1, and your exhale expanding to warrior 2. Make your adjustments as you'd like. Nice deep lunge. Reaching, you might even check in with your arms to be sure they're parallel with the ground. Your left knee and toes pointing forward. Moving into our side angle, reach forward, angled upper body, rotate the arms. Now you could do this with the left arm bent, resting lightly on the thigh. You might go a little lower, meaning your left arm might be straight on the inner leg, reaching towards the ground, or even lower still where your fingertips touch the ground or a stack of blocks. Let's get that right body side stretch by reaching your right hand overhead. And to get more of that extension, press your right foot a little bit more into the ground. Here we go, breathe in. Exhale, we'll turn the body, hands plant into the mat. Once again, we'll step back into plank pose. Hold for steadiness and strength. Same shortcut to down dog. Hold for a moment. Let's take a nice full breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop. Both feet back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extending spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, soft knees. Inhale, reverse the swan dive. Coming up, reach high. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, so a nice flow of the body. So now we can take a moment just to regroup. Take a few breaths. Let's prepare for our tree pose. So here's one of our first balancing postures. So you might shift your weight over to your right foot, press strongly into the ground so that you feel that energy in that leg. Feel nice and tall in the upper body. Exhale to engage belly. When you feel set, just go ahead and float the left foot up, bending the knee. Maybe a flexed foot for an active leg. Swing the knee out to the side, placing foot on the inside of your standing leg. Or use the ground if you need to. No worries about that. Then, when you're ready, whenever you're ready, and inhale, let's lift the arms up, reach up like you're reaching for the ceiling. So you get that long torso, a lift quality in the body, making a little bit more space in the hips and around your belt line. Keep the arms as they are. We're going to swing the left knee forward, lift your knee, flexed foot. Let's hold here. Bring your hands to your hips. Push down with the hands. Feel like you're pushing your pelvis down towards the ground and stand up a little taller in this torso, and then extend this left leg. Flex your foot and just push forward. Very strong leg. And then slowly bring that foot back down to the ground. Reestablish balance on 2 feet. Feel free to shake all that out. Hands, shoulders, keeping your feet. We'll do that same thing on the other side. So we'll establish balance on 2 feet first. Then start shifting the weight gently to the left side, root down into the ground, feel tall up top. Looking at something out in front of you, perhaps core engagement. Let's float the right foot up, thigh parallel to the ground, flexed foot. Let's swing the knee out to the side. Even at a corner is fine. Placing foot on the inside of the standing leg. Even just a touch is fine. Doesn't have to push too hard. Then an inhale, sweep the arms into the air. Once they are up, reach, lift, and feel how you almost lift out of the pelvis, making a lot more space around the belly, your sides, and your back. And to lock that in place with the exhale, draw belly in. Even a little tuck of the tailbone. That's something I know I have to do to help engage my low center here. Let's keep the arms in the air. We're going to swing this right knee forward. Lift your knee with the flexed foot. Hold it there. Bring your hands down to your hips. Push down, and then lengthen spine a little bit more. If you can't roll your shoulders back, maybe squeeze shoulder blades together. That too can help with balance. Now extend the right leg. Pushing through the heel of the foot, flexed foot. We're still focusing on something out in front or down low. Then slowly bring this foot back down to the ground. Reconnect. Balance on 2 feet. Shake it out. All right, good. Nice balance work. So some the things that we're working with to help with balance. One is focus. So like focusing on something out in front of you. You can see a brick wall behind me. I have a brick wall in front of me, and I'm just looking at a brick out in front of me. Or you might be looking down a little bit. Using that core engagement, pull belly in. Okay, let's flow. Here we are. Inhale, reach into the sky. Take chair pose as you exhale. Once you've made your seat, take a breath in, more extension through your arms. Exhale, let's dive forward. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the mat, walk, step, or hop back plank. Come right down if you'd like, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, or keep it low. You can do a cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's just continue this nice flow. Inhale, extend right leg up into the air. Bend and twist open. Unwind it, step through for warrior one. Make sure to turn left heel to the ground. Shift the weight back into that foot so the hands are light so you can easily rise up. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Settle in. For this one, let's reverse the warrior. Let's take the right palm or right hand up into the air. You might look up as you reach up. Lunge a little deeper perhaps. If you need a little support on this left side, because you can feel how your torso is kind of bent here, you might even place your left hand on your hip and again push pelvis down, like down the leg. And it'll create a little bit more space so it doesn't feel like you're going to collapse into that space. Let's take a big windmill all the way down, hands to the mat, step back, plank pose, finish your flow, come down. Chaturanga, right into your up dog or other back bend, exhale, downward facing. Same thing for the other side. Inhale, extend left leg up, bend and twist. The exhale to unwind it, step through for warrior one. Right heel plants, light hands, inhale, float up into the air. Exhale into your second warrior. Settle into the pose. Same thing, let's reverse the warrior. Maybe you flip your left palm up, reach up into the sky. Now you can do several things. You don't have to reach backward. You might kind of reach up and forward like this. You don't bend the torso. Or you might reach straight up. But if you do decide to reach behind you, that's when the torso bends. For me, I need to place that right hand on my hip, push down, just to make a little bit more space so I don't collapse into that right hip area. A couple more breaths, lengthening through that whole left side of your body. Then we'll go ahead and windmill or a big cartwheel to bring both hands down to the ground. Step back plank. Just stay in plank this time. Hold plank. Okay, let's bring the knees to the ground. For a moment, let's just sit back into hero because I just want to take a rest, get off the hands, because we're going to come back onto our hands and knees and get into our next balancing pose, okay? So our next balancing pose is called spinal balance. Okay, spinal balance. So really just, even take a moment if you'd like, since we're going to be on our hands in this force flexed sensation, just go ahead and do that opposite. Flip the hands down or make, little circles, something like that. Wiggle your fingers, okay? You might even place the backs of your hands, the tops of your hands on the ground and just give them a gentle stretch. Just very gently, no force at all. So we can get ready to be on hands and knees. All right. So let's come to hands and knees. Now, if you need a little extra padding for your knees, which I'm going to do just to show you, I'm just going to kind of lift my mat like this and create a crease so I have a little bit more cushion for the knees here. You can do the same for your hands by folding the front end of your mat. So now from here, let's do a series of cat and cow. Inhale, look forward, which will create that little arch in the back. It's a minor back bend. And then we'll exhale and round it all out. Pull belly button up towards spine. Feel that curvature in the spine. Reverse it. Inhale to look up or forward. Pelvis tips back. Heart opens. There's our back bend. Exhale, round it out. Let's do that one more time. Inhale for cow, looking forward, arched back. Exhale into cat. We're going to hold cat pose. So chin is kind of tucked in towards chest, belly button pulled up towards spine, the back is rounded. But keep breathing. You're holding the pose, but you're not holding your breath. Stay in this cat-like formation. Start to shift your weight into your right knee, That way the left leg can extend back. If you need to look at me, just look at me. I'm just lifting the knee, but keeping the toes on the ground. I've just extended the leg. And I'm just going to lift the toes off the ground, maybe a couple of inches. So I haven't lifted the leg very high. And it's really active. I'm trying to maintain that cat pose as best as I can. The spine is starting to lengthen a little bit. Now we're going to extend the right hand forward. Lift your right hand and reach forward. Reach. Your focus is still down at the mat. So you have a nice long neck. So you're reaching through the right hand, reaching through your left foot in these opposite directions. But you're still squeezing to center, mainly with the belly button pulling up towards spine, but even with the arms hugging in towards center, and even your legs squeezing towards center. So this is spinal balance. Let's rest. Bring the hand back down, bring the knee back down. Feel free to either sit back into hero or child's pose. If you sit in hero, then you can do that same little remedy for your wrists. Yeah, get that counter stretch. Because it's putting a lot of pressure on the wrists, right? So we just want to give them a little massage. Wiggling the fingers can really help there too. Okay, so what's spinal balance? So there's the concepts that are happening there. We're extending, so reaching in those opposite directions, but also squeezing to midline, mainly from the belly, pulling in. But even the arms, even though they're in different formations, you're squeezing in to center. And then the legs are doing the same thing. All right, let's do the same on the other side. So come back to our tabletop posture. Let's do one cat-cow. Inhale to cow, so look forward, that's the back bend. Exhale into cat and hold cat. Hold the pose, but don't hold your breath. Each exhale actually is still dynamically holding the posture. Then start to shift your weight gently into the left knee. Let's extend the right leg back, but keep the toes on the ground until you feel like the leg is extended. And then just lift the foot just a few inches off the ground. We want to keep it low. That way we don't collapse into the low back. Once you've got the energy of that back leg reaching, let's lift the left hand and extend the left hand forward. Reach. So it's opposite limbs. Reaching, that's the extending part. Exhaling, hug to center. Imagine that your arms are squeezing something in between them. Same with the inner thighs. And don't forget to continue pulling belly button up towards spine like you do in cat. Inhale to reach more. Exhale is bring that back to the ground. Hand and knee. Sit back into hero or child's pose. And then relax the wrists as you'd like. Well done. All right, so that's the first round of that. We'll be doing that pose with a variation as we add on to the practice. Take your time. You don't have to rush to come out of your resting pose just yet. Maybe 3 more breaths. And then make your way back into downward facing dog. Let's continue our flow. Inhale, extend right leg out. Reach, bend, and twist open. Exhale, let's unwind. Let's send right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel to the ground behind you. Balanced. Inhale, rise, warrior 1. And your exhale to warrior 2. Let's turn this into triangle pose. So you're going to extend or lengthen the right leg. Reach out over that right leg. And then rotate the body, upper body. Like that. We just want to get a little more of a hamstring stretch. We started that process with when we held our first forward fold. Let's get a little bit more of that extension in the legs, the hamstrings, and triangle can help with that. A couple more breaths. Now stay in this tipped over sensation. You're going to move into side angle. Just stay where you are, but all you're going to do is bend your knee and just kind of slide down a little bit. So now you're just in side angle. Now we're going to reverse the warrior, meaning you're going to come up, pass through warrior 2 and reverse the warrior. Reaching up, maybe behind you, maybe left hand on hip for a little support. And then our big windmill, bringing the hands down to the ground. Keep the fingertips there. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. Let's just hold here for a moment. Just want to allow you to experience this aligned body in this runner's lunge. Just so you sense that and your body gets attuned to it. Plant the hands into the ground so you can slide right foot back into plank pose. Take a shortcut to down dog. Exact same thing other side. Inhale, extend left leg into the air. Bend and twist. Unwind on the exhale so you can step through for warrior 1. Right heel plants behind you. Firm connection to the ground with that back foot. Rise up into the air. First warrior and then our second warrior as you exhale. Settle in. Set up for triangle. So we're straightening the left leg. Let's get more into that hamstring stretch. Reach out over that left thigh. Rotate the arms. Your left hand might be at your knee. It could be at your thigh. Maybe your shin. Maybe even closer to the ground. just depending on your own flexibility in the leg and your hips, how wide the feet are on your mat. But mainly, or one of the main things that we're focusing on is that hamstring lengthening. Couple more breaths. After the second breath, remember we're staying in this tipped over sensation. We're just going to bend the left knee for a lunge until we're in side angle. Then reverse the warrior, coming up through warrior two so we can bring left hand up into the air. Your focus probably naturally goes up, so you're probably looking up past your hand towards the ceiling. And then here comes our windmill or cartwheel. Bring hands or fingertips to the ground. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Pause for a moment in this runner's lunge. Just finding this nice aligned sensation in the body. All right, plant the hands. Slide left foot back, plank. Maybe this time, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, bring knees to the ground. If you happen to have a couple of yoga blocks, or just one is fine actually, bring them around to the front of your mat. My blocks are they're not really thick, so I have two here, so I'm just going to stack my blocks. So we're going to get into a little bit more balance, and the blocks really just bring the floor a little bit closer to you to help with this next balance. We're moving towards a warrior three position, okay? So let's return to down dog. This time we're going to inhale, extend right leg straight up and back. Keep it straight. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. We're back to that runner's lunge. Stay here. Now you can maybe bring in the blocks for your hands. So place your hands on your blocks here. Now with that back foot, either just kind of step forward a little bit so the foot's still on the ground, so I have more pressure of my hands on the blocks. You can always adjust the blocks as you need to. Until there's more weight in the hands and this front foot. So you can actually just lift the left leg up into the air. So this is kind of the first version of our warrior three. So we are balancing, but we've got the use of the blocks, hands on the blocks or the ground. If your palms are on the blocks, see if you can rise up to your fingertips on the blocks, just to lift up and extend the spine a little bit more parallel to the ground. Now, you can stay just like this or continue to follow me. Now, you can bring one hand, maybe two hands to that right thigh. One or two hands to your thigh. If you push into the thigh, you can help extend the spine a little bit more. It might even help stabilize the pose. One hand or two. If it's one hand, the other hand can stay on the ground. Another option here is extend one arm forward. It doesn't matter which. While one hand stays on the ground or on your thigh. If you want, extend both arms. There's our warrior three. And if you can see me, I'm keeping my right knee very bent. The left leg is very active, lifting up towards the sky. This is a long balance. Bring the hands down to the blocks. Bring the left knee in towards your chin. Let the back round. Set the foot onto the ground next to the other. Balanced on 2 feet in forward fold. If you want, just hang forward. Monkey pose, extending spine. Exhale, hands to the mat. We'll step back into plank. Hold. Right away to down dog. Just take the shortcut. So let's do the same thing other side. That's a long hold. If you need to rest through that process, please do so. So we're going to inhale, extend left leg up into the air. Just keep it straight. Exhale, left foot now to the top of the mat. Stay in your runner's lunge because there's an evenness in the body. So the right heel stays lifted. Get your hands on the blocks. Even bring the blocks in closer if you need to. Step the right foot a little closer so you can get more weight in the hands and left foot. That way, you can start floating the right leg into the air, reaching back dynamically towards the wall behind you. Now remember, you can stay just like this or continue the process. Maybe rise up to fingertips to lift yourself up so you're more parallel to the ground. Stay here or bring one hand or two hands to thigh. Remember that knee can be very bent, which will help. If you bend that left knee, you'll be more strong in the thigh, pressing into the thigh to extend spine. Now you can extend one arm or two arms for a warrior three position. Reach, back lifted right leg, kicking up towards the ceiling. Very strong pose. Hands come back down to the blocks. Bend the right knee, bring it in towards your chin to get that rounded sensation. Set the foot down next to the other so you can balance on 2 feet. Then hang heavily forward. Lean back into your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Take your arms out to the side to rise up all the way. Reach into the air. Bring the palms together and down to your heart. Hold here. So warrior three, obviously a dynamic balancing pose. So let's just regroup. All right, let's flow. We're going to make our way back down to hands and knees. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, swan dive. Monkey pose. Inhale for a flat back. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the mat, walker, step back, plank pose. If you like, come down, chaturanga dandasana, or that shortcut right away to down dog, either one. Once you're in down dog, just pause there for a moment. Then bring knees to the ground. So we're going to do that spinal balance again. So if you need to pad the knees and hands, go ahead and do so. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to pad my knees. Let's do one cat-cow. Inhale to look up or forward. Exhale, round it out. Hold cat. Keep breathing, however. Same setup. Lean to your right knee. Extend left leg back. Keep toes on the ground initially. Then just lift the left foot an inch or two off the ground. Extend your right arm forward. Then get those dynamics of reaching in these opposite directions, squeezing to midline. Still feel like you can do cat, that pull of the belly button up towards spine. Here's the add-on. Bend your left knee like you're bringing your heel towards backside. Take your right hand behind you. If you can, catch hold of that foot or touch the foot. And if you can grab hold, lift it up into the air, look forward. One of the nicknames for this pose is tiger pose. So it's kind of a variation of spinal balance. You're going to release and extend the arm and leg, look right down. Bring the hand and knee back down. Tuck toes, lift knees, downward facing dog. Just help re-extend spine. We're going to go right back down to the knees in a moment. But just take this moment to re-extend the spine since we just did a back bend. All right, both knees back down to the mat on your padded space if you had it. Cat-cow. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round, hold cat. We just want to make sure you have that nice engagement in your center. Lean to left knee. Extend right leg back, keep toes on the ground. Be sure that leg is active. Lift the toes an inch off the ground. Then lift your left hand and extend it forward. Reach in these opposite directions. That's an inhale. Exhale, everything squeezes to center. Arms, belly, and legs. Add on. Bend the right knee so your heel comes towards backside. As you're able, take your left hand behind you. You may not be able to reach it. If you can't, just reach behind you into the air. Or maybe just touch the foot if you can reach it. Or grab hold. You don't have to do the back bend. You can just hold. Or if you lift the foot straight up towards the ceiling and look forward, you get this back bend feel. And there's still a dynamic of kind of squeezing to center line. Because you're balancing. Let's release and re-extend. Let's bring the hand and knee back down to the ground. Let's go ahead and take child's pose. Yeah, take the knees wide if you'd like. Extend the arms out front. Stretch, reach. Use this as a relief for your back after that back bend on the knees. Take 3 more breaths. Move slowly and just return to hero. Just lift yourself up and sit in hero, or just sit on the mat. Okay? Let me just quickly demonstrate this next transition. Because one, it's not a typical transition that we do in yoga. Basically, we're going to move through the 3 warriors. We're going to go warrior 1, warrior 2, right into warrior 3, which is not common, okay? Because you're moving from this sideways opened pose into a balancing posture, right? So let me just show you. So I'll do my right leg. So we'll take right foot up, step through, warrior 1, warrior 2, we're going to do a little add-on here for a side angle. Reverse the warrior to give a little momentum, okay, and then a launch into warrior 3, but taking our time because it's the windmill. I'm looking right at the blocks because if I need the blocks, I can take my hands down to the blocks to catch like that. And then I can take an arm up, both arms perhaps, or something like this, whatever variation we did earlier for your warrior 3. So basically that was our warrior, reversed warrior. If I sped it up a little bit, push and kind of shoot right out to a warrior 3. From here, we're going to rise up right into a tree pose, so right into another balance. Hands to hips. The extend spine. We're going to swing, in this case, left knee forward, extend this left leg. More balance, and then bring the foot to the ground. So that's our balancing sequence. All right, so come back to a downward facing dog. We are starting in standing, so go ahead and walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. Monkey pose. Exhale, fold. Be sure your blocks are handy right there. Reverse the swan dive. Let's come tall. Reach high. Exhale, hands to heart. Just as we began our practice, we dove into breath and balance on 2 feet. So make that connection once again. And we're ready for our balancing flow. And there's going to be a little bit of an add-on. Just follow me. Inhale, sweep the arms into the sky. Exhale, chair pose. Once in your seat, breathe in. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, monkey, or flat back like a table. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the mat. Hop or step back, plank pose. Come down, chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing. Listen carefully and follow. Inhale, extend right leg up. Bend and twist. Now unwind it, keep the knee bent, but you're going to slowly bring the right knee down to the ground and be sure it's directly underneath the hip. As that knee lands, extend the left leg back. Yes. We're going right into spinal balance. So right hand reaches forward. Reach. Extend. Take that tiger pose. Bend the knee. Reach back. This is an option. Either reach back into the air or grab hold of the foot and create that back bend. Okay, let's release and re-extend. Listen carefully. You're just bringing the right hand to the ground. Just your hand. The foot still lifted. Tuck your right set of toes because you're going to lift that knee off the ground. Into down dog, left leg will end up being in the air. Good. Left foot Comes up to the top of the mat, warrior one. Warrior two. Side angle. Reverse your warrior. This is our setup for that transition. Reversing the warrior. Okay, take a slow windmill as you're bringing the right hand up and over. Maybe you're looking at your blocks. Okay, so you can make this transition to square out the hips and start launching yourself forward. Hands can extend out front or catch the ground or your left thigh. Tree pose. Hinge your way up, arms in the air. Bring the right knee forward like this. Swing the knee out to the side, plug foot to the inner leg. You'll be in tree pose. Reach high. Bring hands to hips. Turn right knee forward. Lift knee with the flexed foot. Extend the leg. Maybe it can come up to parallel. Doesn't have to. Slowly bring foot down next to the other. Mountain pose. Let's sweep the arms into the air. Exhale, chair pose. That's our sequence. Breathe in, reach. Exhale, dive. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, hands to the ground. Hop or step back, plank pose, come down, chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, extend left leg into the air, bend and twist. As we unwind to keep the knee bent, but you're going to set the knee onto the mat directly underneath the hip. Once it's there, extend right leg and just lift the foot into the sky. Or just reaching straight back. Remember, you're kind of in that cat pose. Spinal balance, so you're extending left arm forward. Stay like this or take tiger pose. Grab hold of that foot behind you. Lift. Squeeze to center line. Release and extend. Only bring the left hand to the ground. Tuck your left set of toes. Lift the knee. Down dog, right leg will be in the air. Right foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Warrior two. Side angle. Hold for a moment for the extensions. Reverse the warrior. This is our setup to create momentum to fly into warrior three. Windmill. Find something to focus on. Even square out the body. I lifted that back heel and the little launch to push into warrior three. Or choose the variation that you want. Tree. Rise up. The left knee can bend, bring the thigh to parallel. Swing the knee out to the side, plug foot into the side leg. There's tree. Hands to hips. Get taller in the spine. Left knee turns forward. Extend the left leg. Maybe parallel. We're going to do the whole sequence again. We're just going to pick up the pace a little bit, just making it flow. Bring left foot to the ground. Here we go. Inhale, float the arms into the sky. Chair pose as you exhale. Breathe in, extend. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, hands to the mat. Hop or step back, plank. Come right down, chaturanga. Go at your own pace. Inhale, up dog, even if you get a little behind me. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg into the air, bend and twist. Unwind, right knee comes to the ground. Once it touches ground, lift the left leg. Extend right arm forward. There's your balance. Tiger if you want. The back bend. Grab the foot behind you. Lift. Re-extend. Right hand to the ground. Tuck toes behind you. Lift into down dog. Left leg is extended. Left foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one. Warrior two. Side angle. Reverse the warrior. We're just coming right back up. This is the wind up. Warrior three. Launch. See if you can hold for a second. Tree. Rise up. Tree pose so the right foot's on the inner left leg. Hands to hips. Right knee forward, lift knee, extend leg. Bring it down, touch ground. Inhale, extended mountain. Chair pose, exhale. Take a breath in. Exhale, dive. One more side to do. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, hands to the mat. Float back, plank, come on down. Up dog. Downward facing. Left leg extends up and back. Bend and twist. Unwind it, left knee touches ground. Underneath the hip. Once it touches ground, lift right leg up behind you. Extend left arm forward. Stay there for balance or take tiger for the back bend. Release and extend. Left hand comes to the ground. Tuck left toes. Lift left knee, extend right leg up behind you, down dog. Right foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Warrior two. Side angle. Reverse it, reversing the warrior. This is your rev up for warrior three. Exhale to fly. Warrior three position. A nice balancing act. Tree, rise up. Left foot to the inner right leg. Hands to hips. Let's turn left knee forward. Extend the left leg, maybe parallel. Bring the foot down to the ground. Arms down by your side. Hold for a moment, mountain pose. Rebalance on 2 feet. Find the balance in your breath. Take your time as we move now. Inhale, float the arms up into the sky. We're coming to the end of our practice, so take your time. Exhale, swan dive. Slow. Inhale to re-extend spine, half lift. Exhale, hands to the ground, step back into plank. You're welcome to do one more chaturanga if you want. You don't have to. You could just move right into down dog, which is what I'll do. And once you're in down dog, a hold for a second. Bring knees to the ground. We'll sit back and sit down. Sit in the center of your mat. Legs around to the front. Go ahead and lie down. Bring knees to chest. And if you'd like, maybe some circles here, because there is a series of back bends. And if not back bends, really some engagement in the low back and belly. And so this is just an opportunity to soften up the body a little bit. I like doing these rocking sensations left and right, forward and back in these circles. So whatever feels good for you. And then choose a hip opener when you're ready. This could be happy baby pose. It can be reclining cobbler's pose. You can do one or the other, or both, or some variation. And the hip openers may also help with some back release and hip release, of course. Take your time with this process. Your next movement will be a spinal twist. We did spinal balance, now we'll do spinal twist. So whenever you're ready, what you might do here is just hug the knees in towards chest again. Maybe start by taking both knees over to the left side while you extend your right arm to the right side, and that creates your twist. And this also has a quality of balance, because you're moving in opposite directions, and if you kind of recall, a lot of our postures require that. Move in one direction and in the opposite direction. And that's what helps with balance. It creates a balance. Sometimes yoga can be called the union of opposites. The union of opposites. And it creates balance. Let's bring the knees back up to center. Pause there for a second as you realign. And then knees down to the right side, left arm to the left side. Spinal twist. And perhaps just 2 more breaths, or longer if you need more time on this side. Whenever you're ready, just return to center. Maybe another hug of the knees into the body, and then extend the legs, just moving into Shavasana or any relaxing restorative pose that feels good for you at this moment. Just settle in. Relax the body. Melt into the ground. Find an ease in your breath. Stay exactly where you are. No need to move just yet. Just return to the awareness of your breath. Just notice your breathing. Keep your awareness on your breath, and perhaps now take 5 slow, deep breaths. Just starting to bring new energy to the body. And after your 5th breath, moving in slow motion, carefully roll onto either side of your body, just moving into a nurturing position. And still moving as slowly as you can, guide your way up to a seated posture. You can just relax your arms down by your side, your hands in your lap. Keep them there or bring hands to heart center. Take another breath in and out. And as we come to the close of this portion of our journey together, we bow, saying, Namaste.